What exactly is Speed Duels? Speed Duels is an alternative format launched in 2018, and over the past 5 years, it has basically gone under the radar. Most people would rather play Duel Links, Master Duel, or even the TCG. Even despite this, it has quickly become one of my favorite ways to play Yu-Gi-Oh! Not only does it remind me of simpler times like Duel Links once had, it has enough complexity to keep it from feeling stale. The game mostly resembles Duel Links with its 3-zone field, and along with it, it also follows a similar Limit 3, Limit 2, Limit 1 ban list, which means that if a card is limited to 3, you can only select 3 cards from the Limit 3 pool. Also similar to Duel Links, Speed Duels has skill cards, which are cards that act like dueling skills, so they can become field spells or they can have an effect that can't be responded to, such as destroying a card on the field. Earlier this year, we even got a new box which introduced vampires, dark scorpions, and even Cloudians into the metagame. Yes, even Cloudians. So you might be asking yourself, I've been comparing it to Duel Links quite a bit. Is the card pool exactly the same or does it have its own unique card pool? And the answer to that is, although they do have some cards that were in Duel Links, they do actually have their own card pool, so you can think of it as sort of a Duel Links 2.0. So how does one exactly get into Speed Duels? Well, there's a couple of ways to play, but first I'll go over the free-to-play way. All you're going to need is a way to access Dueling Book, which is a free Yu-Gi-Oh simulator. Konami, please do not ban me. Dueling Book is optimized for computer browsers. Although it is possible to access it from your mobile phone, it isn't the most pleasant experience. From there, you can create your own speed duel deck and take people on in rated or even unranked. You can even enter weekly tournaments hosted by the Speed Duel League, also known as SDL. They have the biggest speed duel community on Discord. It's a really useful server to figure out the metagame and to check out what tournaments are being hosted, along with general discussion about speed duels. The SDL server will also offer a lot of insight into deck building, which is going to help you a lot if you're just getting into it for the first time. Now that I've gone over the ways to play for free, let's go over some of the not so free ways. So, obviously the first one is going to be Remote Duels. Remote Duels was Konami's solution to the COVID restrictions that we dealt with in 2020. Basically, to keep it simple, you're going to need a camera, some way to keep it facing your field, such as a tripod, and real cards. Speed Duel requires you to have Speed Duel stamped cards, and you can't use regular TCG cards for Speed Duels. So you're going to have to buy your deck if you don't already own Speed Duel cards. Remote Duels are obviously not free, and I know a lot of people are not trying to break the bank to play Yu-Gi-Oh! But in a contrast to the TCG, Speed Duels is actually quite affordable. Most of the cards come in a pre-made box which guarantee one copy of every card, so I usually just buy 3 of them, and if you don't want to do that, you can also just buy singles out of them, which usually go for about 10 cents each, so you can make a deck for basically under like 20 or 30 bucks depending on what you want to play. Ideally, you already have a webcam and tripod, but I've even seen people, they like stack books and they have their phone pointing to the field and then they have some other way to get to the call. If you're using your phone to play remote duels, you're going to need another way to join the call because you want to be able to look at your opponent's field. So with this kind of setup, you would need 2 phones and 2 Discord accounts. One to face your field and then one that you can look at their field with. Now you might be asking yourself, why would I go through this trouble when I can just play for free and I can enter the free tournaments that SDL hosts? And the reason you would do remote duels is because Konami actually runs a lot of speed duel remote duel events which offer great prizes, which include giant cards and prize cards, and even top cut playmats, which you can usually sell for a lot of money, but you can also just keep them, which is pretty nice. And you can win them all from the comfort of your own home. And if you're lucky enough, your locals also has speed duel events which you can play in now that you own cards. Obviously not everybody has a speed duel locals, even I don't have one. The pricing isn't as amazing as remote duel events, but it is a great way to play in person. Playing in person, especially at locals, is a great way to meet new friends, and I personally have met some of my best friends at locals, so anytime I can tell people to get out there and play Yu-Gi-Oh! In person, I'll definitely suggest it to them. Another option to play in person are at YCS tournaments. These tournaments are the highest tier of Yu-Gi-Oh! Tournaments, and they last 2 days, Saturday and Sunday, Friday being the pre-registration day, which usually don't have any events running. The prizes at them vary for whatever you're trying to play. You can play retro formats such as Edison or Go. You can play speed duels. You can play in the main event itself, which is obviously going to be a TCG portion of the event. But you can also just enter the side events for speed duels, which is what I usually do. And they offer giant cards and oversized cards for first, second, and third place. And these giant cards are awesome, especially for huge Yu-Gi-Oh fans. They usually offer iconic monsters such as Cyber Dragon, Flame Wingman, Book of Moon, DD Warrior Lady. There's a lot of them that they've given out. I personally have won the Book of Moon Giant card, which I really, really treasure. If you can ever travel to a YCS, or if there's ever one near you, I definitely recommend going because it is a great experience. It's really awesome to see all these people gather just to play Yu-Gi-Oh! All of the information in this video has mostly been directed towards people in North America, but if you live in Europe or anywhere else, the information is mostly the same, just with a bit less options, such as YCS events in Europe. They only offer 1 day of giant cards. So if you're only going to play speed duels, I'd also recommend trying to pick up another format, so that way you're not going to just be there for 1 day. I'd also like to recommend the website speedduellibrary.com. It was created by a community member by the name of Keebler. It has a database for every speed duel card in speed duels currently, and it also has all the skill cards, which is extremely useful if you don't want to open up Dueling Book to find out which cards are in speed duels. I hope this video has been helpful as a stepping stone into speed duels. I would like to make more videos about speed duels in the future, but you know, it is what it is. If I can't make any, it's fine. I'd like to just have this one on the channel just as a reference point to anybody that's trying to get into it. Thank you guys for watching as always. This has been PDS, and I'll talk to you guys later. Peace out.